Hello, Career Banter audience. What's cracking? On today's episode, first of all, I'm sorry that we haven't been able to put together a new episode. It's just been a lot of things happening, and so we've been trying to work around the structure and all of that, and I've just been really busy. But today's episode is sort of like an excerpt from a show that I was invited to. I was invited to the Lagos Youth Show, where the show is themed around all things development, about the same themes that the Career Banter is all about. And so I got invited by a friend who is the convener of the show, and we talked about skills versus degrees. What is paying the bills for young Nigerians? In this episode, we broke down my story. In today's world, is it skills, is it degrees, and how do you find the balance? And is there even supposed to be a balance, right? I hope that you enjoy it. It was an amazing session, and I think there are a lot of things to learn from it. Welcome to episode 7 of Career Banter, Skills versus Degrees, What is paying the bills for young Nigerians?
All right, it's still the Lagos Youth Show, and we have a guest already. And our guest today on the show is a business strategist, and is the head of a 3D organization. Okay, is it 3D? 3D design, yes.
3D design.
Of the Rogue Studios, yes, he's the head of Rogue Studios. And his name is Chidi Godwin.
Absolutely.
Hello, everyone.
So you just smile like
It's great to be here.
You're
I keep
welcome.
telling her the way you're pronouncing my name. My mom will be proud of it. I'm pronouncing it like an Igbo woman.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm
I'm
glad to
learning
be.
from the best now.
I'm glad to be on the show today.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for having me.
You're welcome.
Good to join us. Anyway, so let's just go straight to it. The topic here we have is skills versus degree. You know, what's paying the bills for young Lagosians these days. So let's just put it on this foundation. Take us through a bit around your journey, because going through your profile, I realize you have a pretty much interesting degree you've achieved from architecture.
I'm trying my best.
From architecture even down to pursuing a degree in business.
Yep.
And coupled with other certifications that you have, and still doing what you do with what you do in your company, and also trying to build a brand for yourself. How have you been able to put all of that together and be truthful to us? What is really paying? Is it really the degree thing or what you built over time?
Thank you very much. Not to sound like I have it figured out, but I think I'm in a very good position to talk about this because I have had a taste of both. I studied architecture, and right out of architecture school. In fact, I left architecture school to start doing what we're doing currently. I run a 3D rendering company. I co-founded with my partners, who also studied architecture. Now, what is paying the bills? We're going to get to it, but I'm going to try to walk it through my story. I don't talk about this very often, but I left school to do this. I literally ditched the degree.
Wow.
Yes, because of the skills we're acquiring. Studying architecture, we get to do 3D renders, 3D rendering, and all of those things. And we began to do it commercially. So that was a skill that myself and my co-founders had acquired. And we began to get a couple of clients, not just in Nigeria, internationally as well. And so for the longest time, that has been what has paid the bills. Now, the question is, or rather, I'm trying to be careful with the answer to the question because I don't want to send the wrong message. I while in school, I had this very, this school na scam energy. Yes. And there's a way when you feel like skills are what pay the bills, you can begin to look down on the degree in itself. So I think to answer the question, a yes or a no, the skills is what's paying the bills, right? But I think that the pursuit of the degree was sort of what exposed me to the skill. I wouldn't say the pursuit of the degree taught me the skill in its sense. I mean, studying architecture, you have to do 3D because you need it for your presentations. Yes, exactly. So it exposed us to it. But what we've now made out of it has been from our personal pursuit of improvement of the skill in itself. Unfortunately, the answer still remains that it's the skill that pays the bills.
Okay.
And for me, I was in a point where I needed to choose. I was at a crossroads in school. I was already making some money with the skill, but the degree needed to be completed, and I needed to choose one, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I had to choose what was paying the bills, right? Now, the decision to now pursue, like you said in my reading through my bio, I am currently doing a degree in business, is because I've also come to realize that, and I think it's now a question of finding the right balance.
Okay.
Right now, what I do for Rogue Studios is no longer 3D visuals. I just manage the business, and I'm beginning to try to transition fully into business management, business strategy, and all that. I don't think if you're looking to pursue something like that, it's a skill conversation. You need a degree for that, and I realized that. And so some years back, I enrolled in Oxford University. I'm doing an online degree in business administration, which I just completed. Yes, so it might sound hypocritical if I say the skill is better than the degree, because so why did you go back and do a degree in business? But then it's a question of what are you pursuing, and what is if you want to pursue business strategy, business management, nobody will listen to you if you don't have a degree. With what we do at Rogue Studios, not one client has asked us for a degree. My story is replete with stories of my colleagues or friends who have landed really amazing gigs. I have a friend who's a brand designer in one of the biggest fintechs in Lagos. We studied together in school. He also studied a course that is related to in the building industry. But he does after school he went on to learn design and all of those things. When he got hired, they did not ask for his degree, for his nothing. It was all the portfolio.
Very good at
Yes, it was because it was a design role. Nothing concerns us with whether you did architecture or you did. Where's your design portfolio? And he's doing great. He's been promoted a couple of times. He's doing really amazing. So I think it's a question of what do you want to do, what are you doing, and how does it tie?
All right. So what you've said.
Yeah.
Now, having a skill.
Yeah.
Do you think one should still go for a degree? Now, skills now.
Okay.
Is it really a necessity?
I feel like this is a trap question, and I feel caged. Well, I would answer the question to the best of my story and my knowledge and my abilities and all of that. If you already have a skill, and you're already pursuing this skill, and you're already earning from this skill, no.
Okay.
I do not think you need to go for a degree. Rather, you should pursue development opportunities that are related to your skill. Thankfully, the education system has begun to evolve. Say, there are courses on design. There are courses on even 3D rendering now. What my company does. Back then, when we started out, a lot of our seniors were like, you want to make a business out of 3D rendering. Okay, for the non-Yoruba, sorry, I'm Igbo, but I speak a lot of Yoruba. For the non-Yoruba audience, it means you would stay there. But it turned out it happened and it worked. And now, as time has gone on, there are schools that, not in Nigeria, unfortunately, but there are schools in the West that are like they are full-time 4-year degrees in 3D rendering, 3D visualization and things like that. So whatever skill you think you have and you're like, skill versus degree, it doesn't need to be a versus. Since you're already doing the skill, you can get degrees or certifications that tie into the skill you're doing. Yes. So you not only have a degree, you also have a portfolio and experience. Yes.
Beautiful.
So
this tallies to something I've been thinking, and let me just ask you.
Yeah.
Let's be honest and let's be practical here.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are going to be watching this, including young people and also key stakeholders in major institutions in Nigeria, particularly the educational institutions.
Okay. So, I feel like I'm already offending them.
But let's put it this way, right? Do you think with what we have in our schools today, particularly the higher institutions, do you think it is really preparing young people, for the opportunities present in this time and age? Do you think it's really equipped to position young people for the opportunities ahead, with connection to the degree you mentioned?
No.
Okay.
I don't need to think about the answer. No.
Okay.
Where's the camera? No. and
So what's
and-
your reason? Why did you say
yeah. And I say this with respect, right? I know that, the academia is doing their best to prepare, the people that they're entrusted with for the real world. But I think that they are out of touch with the real world. And if you do not, is how, let me say, our parents would stop us from doing some things that probably would aid our development, but because they don't know better. And I say this with respect as well. So one of our CTO, Rogue Studios, the guy who literally started the entire journey with us, when he was younger, when he used to do some 3D things on the side, but he wasn't, so he would rather do that than work on his assignments. And his parents were very upset with him about that. But now, fast forward a couple of years down the line, that is, he is literally leading one of Nigeria's foremost 3D rendering companies.
Okay.
So basically, his parents were preventing him from doing that thing because they did not know better. Now, so I'm bringing this down. In the academia I think that in many cases they are out of touch with the real world. So they are grooming people based on their understanding of what the real world is.
Okay, but
do you understand what I mean?
I think lately we have I think people we are thinking differently because we have parents that will see their want to see their
I agree.
children doing
Yeah,
things
no,
like, okay.
yes.
And
So
I think,
I'm not even basing the entirety of this on the parenting bit. I think our parents are doing a fantastic job. I just use that analogy
I
to bring it back to the
But
academic.
I think the probably maybe the government actually
I disagree with that.
no.
Okay, so
I think we actually have they are working on having skills.
Skills.
okay, so
Having
so
people get skills.
so let me give you an example of what I mean. And I'm going to speak from my experience,
Okay.
right? I studied architecture. There is no architect who is practicing today that does his drawings with his hand. None. Like, hand drawing stopped many years ago. When I was in school, I mean, when I say many years ago, I'm saying a lot of years ago. We're talking decades ago. When I was in school, in my final year, our lecturers still made us draw with our hands.
Yes.
I don't think you are preparing this person for the real world. Because, and I'm sorry, I didn't mention my school, so I'm not dragging anybody. But it is so disconnected because when our lecturers get some projects, some of our lecturers, of course, you will not draw it with your hand, because let me tell you, say architecture, you design the building, let's say you have a window here, you have a couple of windows here, and then you've drawn the plan, the sections, the elevations. If the client is like, oh, I think this window should move here because I prefer the ventilation in this way, drawing with your hand means you have to
Start
redo
over.
all the sheets. But doing it on the PC, CAD,
Just
computer
edit.
aided drawings, you edit it on one end, it affects all the other sheets. So, which is the way to go, right? It's easier, but then it's still the way to go. In school, there was this energy that the lecturers were giving that because drawing with CAD seemed easier, we're not supposed to do it. And when they now get projects, they would outsource it to us because we can draw with CAD. So it means in the real world, you don't use this thing you are forcing us to do. I can understand
I want you to know better.
I can understand and I respect the rationale that architecture is beyond being able to use CAD. It's being able to express yourself as an architect with your pen. Great. But I think that is supposed to be in the foundational years, year 1, year 2.
Okay.
Final year project. They say you should draw with your hand. So
To test what you've done.
this one is stubborn. But yeah, I feel like there are. I mean, this is just my case. I don't know how it applies to other sectors and things like that. But beyond even skills, I think that there are also like ways that the academia can help tailor the curriculum, the learning experience to the real world.
All right,
You
so let me take this
Tell me.
and make it brief as possible.
No
please.
vex. My problem is not when to start; it's when to stop.
All right, make it brief.
Yeah.
What's branding? What's the effect of branding on businesses now? On skill, having skill and branding. Please make it brief.
I will. I think because we're in the age where skills are what take the cake, everybody is amassing skills. If you want a video editor, you can. There's a ton of them. I know a ton. I'm sure you know a ton. I'm sure you know it. So, branding is one of the things that will set you apart. So, beyond having the skill, I think how you look to the audience. And when I say how you look, I'm not saying physical. Like how the service you're offering looks. How loud are you about it on your stories or whatever it is. Have a brand. Have something that people can relate back to, that I need a something, and if I want to refer you, I'm not sending your number, I'm sending your portfolio or your page, and then they go there and then they see, oh, this person is probably dropping tips on how to make, it just makes you stand out from the next person who probably will do a better job than you, but because your branding was better. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Thank you for coming.
It's been like, it's almost like a master class.
No, I think personally I'm just very passionate about having these conversations around young people development and things like that. I even do this thing on the side where I call it career banter. We talk about, it's like, I think there's a side of youth development that's been neglected, and I'm really grateful that this is happening. This shows like this are happening because it helps the younger generation have something that is beneficial beyond just, Instagram is replete with all the nonsense that we see, but so having things like this, and it's what I also do with Career Banter. We invite people, come talk about how to do better with work, school, and so yes, I'm all for this, and I'm grateful to have been invited.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much for coming to the Lagos Youth Show today. Chidi Godwin.
That's right.
Business strategist and
I'm trying my
managing
best.
director, Rock Studios.
Yes, thank you
for
very much
being
for
on our
having me.
show today.